And so last week, I talked about, having clarity of purpose, otherwise known as vision, otherwise known as your why. And so this whole month of November, we're going to be offering this up for free. If you're in my sales team with iBoomerang, this is going to be free for you forever. But anybody else, after the end of November, we are going to start charging for this, because both Deepak and I, we charge thousands of dollars for our coaching, mentorship, and training. But we wanted to give this gift as a blessing, as an encouragement, to help you guys finish the year strong. So we'll have, Deepak is going to take over now, and he's going to talk for 15 or 20 minutes, and then we'll open it up for questions at the end. So Deepak, are you ready to take it away?
Yes, Louis, thank you. Thank you so much for the wonderful start. So this week, I'm just going to keep it short and sweet. And it's on something what I call, I hope you can see this. Can you see this on the screen? Louis, yeah, you saw it?
Yes, I can see it. I love it. I love it.
So
Diamond
good,
leaders,
yeah.
I can see
Diamond leader. So I'm actually going to connect 3 different stories, and I thought we can, kind of take it from there. So, Lucy, Lisa, Sugam, and Vincent. So this is something called as Ikigai, and I thought I'll start with 4 questions. And you can actually answer these questions. You may have seen this before, but you can answer these questions maybe on a notepad or maybe in the chat box here. And the questions are very simple. The first question is, what do you love doing? And you don't need to think too much. You just need to keep writing whatever you think you love doing. It could be even flying kites, as crazy as that. It could be, solving computer puzzles. It could be anything. So, the model goes, the first question is, what do you really love to do? And so let's see, something seems to be coming up. So it follows with the second question. I'm kind of going to give a pause after every question just for you to absorb it, because it actually leads to the next question. And the next question actually is, what are you good at? So it's possible that you may love singing, but actually you're not good at it. Okay, I'm just giving a very simple example. Or you love acting, but you're probably not good at it, but you still love doing it. So it's the second question is, what are you good at? And it's a laundry list of answers you need to write. So these 4 questions, I suggest you can kind of just note it down and keep thinking of various answers that you can keep coming up, because it's finally all going to coalesce in. So what do you love doing? What are you good at? And this leads us to the third question. And the third question is, what does the world need? And related to whatever you're doing, what really does the world need? What is the needs, or what is it that you can bring a change into the world, or what exactly is the world looking for? What are the problems that you can solve? What is the value difference that you can create? And once you kind of absorb this question, it leads us to the final question, and that is, what can you be paid for? So these are the 4 questions, that you need to kind of get into it. And I'm actually going to show you a matrix where, it all comes in together, and then it will make all sense. So what do you love doing? What are you good at? What does the world need? And what can you be paid for? So this is actually part of a philosophy. It's called as Ikigai, and it comes from the Japanese concept, and it's they say, it's the reason to jump out of bed every morning. There needs to be a reason why you need to jump out of bed every morning. It's also the reason for being. And it came in from a small village called Okinawa, and seems to have the largest number of centenarians in the world. So there's some philosophy behind this, a bit of spirituality into this. 4 simple questions. And if you see the next matrix, it actually puts it all in. So I'm going to spend a few minutes on this matrix, and just so that my mouse works. So this is the first question. If you remember, you wrote, what you love. I'm kind of circling it, and then you wrote the second question, what are you good at? And you can spend some time. This is not something to be finished in 10 minutes or half an hour. It'll take time to do it. And the third one was, what can you be paid for? Oh, sorry, what the world needs was the third one. And the last one is, what can you be paid for? And if you see this, and I do this at various workshops, it's amazing. It takes actually a long time. This entire thing can even go up to 90 minutes, or 120 minutes, because you really need to find a coalescence between all these four circles. So if you see, what you love and what you're good at, if you see the intersection, and that's called the passion. And then similarly, what you love and what the world needs, that's the mission. And you have the vocation, and then you have the profession. But it's actually the intersection of all these four circles right in the center, which is called as Ikigai. And this means a reason for being. And many times we miss this. We for many of the students, or many of the young people, or many of the even young businessmen, etc., they just focus on this. What can you be paid for? They just focus on this, without realizing that you can never sustain a business without passion. You can never sustain a business without doing what you love. You can never sustain a business without being something that you're good at. So a lot of people just focus on this, or they just focus on this, social entrepreneurship, etc. They don't focus on all the four circles. And I found this beautiful, this entire matrix, and I keep doing this myself. It keeps changing, for me. It's very interesting that these four circles, and if you can do it for yourself, it'll keep changing as time goes on. A lot of clarity will come to you, and a lot of happiness will come to you into what you're doing. A lot of vision, mission will come into you, because I think I'll keep the surprise on. So I think you'll need to keep thinking of trying to do it for yourself, and it would be good to see what you come up with. And then, of course, you have the various circles around it. So Ikigai, they had a success mantra. It's a Japanese secret to a long life, and they had 10 success mantras. I'm just going to run it down, and we'll anyway have a recording of this, so you can take it later. So the first mantra was staying active and not retiring. So it's very important, because a lot of people sometimes say, okay, I'm 60, we need to retire at 60, we need to retire at 50. People today want to retire at 40, or they want to retire early, etc. But um, ideally, you should, if you're really doing, the reason they want to retire is because they're always in the lower matrix, what you can pay for. But if you're doing something that you love, you really don't want to retire even at 80. So you need to keep active, and ensure you don't retire. Leave urgency behind, and adopt a slower pace of life. And I just attended a session of Tai Chi, today, and it was amazing. So the way it can really benefit us, leading a simple, slower pace of life is amazing. It's actually faster than leading a rushed pace of life, because it keeps the energy flow, and it keeps us, very active and energetic for a longer period of time. So again, these are secrets, So the third one is, only eat until you're 80% full. So that's pretty interesting. Surround yourself with good friends, and we all know this. So the environment and how it affects us. Get in shape through daily gentle exercise, and we have multiple people here on this call, who know this important reason of daily gentle exercise. It's very important. Smile and acknowledge people around you. Again, a lot of importance here. Reconnect with nature. Give thanks to anything that brightens the day and makes us feel alive. And Louis is going to do a similar session a couple of weeks later on gratitude, which will kind of emphasize the importance of this particular access aspect. Live in the moment without dwelling on the past or the future. Live in the current moment. And finally is, follow your reason for being, or also called as the Ikigai. And this is the first story which and I'm conscious of time. So this is the first story, which I'm going to thread it out to two other stories, which kind of link in to this particular story. And the second story is a very old parable. You must have heard of it. It's called the Fox and the Hedgehog. And the story goes as follows: that the fox has various strategies to try to kill the hedgehog, or to try to outwit it. It tries various ways and means in multiple methods. And the hedgehog is only one strategy. It bundles up into itself, puts all its pokey, pokey skin or the pokey pines outside itself, and that's it. Nobody can attack it, because the moment it bundles up its face into itself and its entire body becomes like a ball of thorns, no animal can ever attack it. So the fox actually tries ways and means in multiple methods to try to attack it, from down, from top, by tempting it. But this hedgehog has just one single strength, and that strength is to roll itself up like a ball, and that's it. There's nothing else to it. And the reason I'm linking this, it links again back to the Ikigai, which is, the single reason for being, one single point, that is a combination of everything that you do, what you love, what you're good at, what you can pay, and what the world needs. And this particular second parable has again been extolled in a book written in 2001 by Jim Collins. And the book's name is Good to Great. And he gives this particular example of the hedgehog. And he mentions this exactly, that the fox is very distracted, very disillusioned, trying to go in multiple places, whereas the hedgehog is so focused. He has a singular vision, a singular mission, and he knows exactly what is to be done. And he only does one thing, and he does it perfectly well. So he's practiced that, like Bruce Lee says, you practiced one kick 1,000 times instead of practicing 1,000 different kicks. So the hedgehog has just practiced one strategy, but he's perfected it so well that that's the center of it all, and that's what protects it, from the foxes, even in real life. So, Good to Great by Collins gives a reference to this particular story, extols the hedgehog, and gives a similar matrix, what we saw in the Ikigai. And here he talks about what you're passionate about, and this is where it is: what you're passionate about, what you can be best in the world at, and what drives your economic engine. And a combination of these three is something which is again called as the hedgehog theory, which links in exactly well with the Ikigai concept, which is about love, which is about passion, which is about what you can pay it for and what you're good at. It's all kind of linked in the West and the East and the old ancient parable of the hedgehog. So this is exactly what I had to say today, and time is, yeah. So I think I did it really quickly. I'd like to leave you with this, with this particular image, which has a lot of wealth of meaning in it. And if practiced well, it can really lead to your Ikigai. So on that note, friends, I'd like to open the floor for question answers, leaving this particular image in, and there we go.
Wow, that was awesome. That was a perfect follow-up from last week. Thank you so much. It's so cool because there's a woman who turned 109 here yesterday in San Diego, and they were interviewing her too about what was the secrets. She didn't really say a whole lot, but I think your list of 10 pretty much summarizes that.
Yeah. So
I have a question. If
yes.
if no one else does, I'm always full of questions.
Sure.
With the list of 10, do you coach clients to, is there like, it's a short list, but it's a big list, right? And
Yes.
so how does someone, if they're maybe only doing like 5 out of 10, how does someone grow into that list?
So if you see all of these lists, many of these points in the list point out to various values. If you, for example, point number 6 and 8, it is actually into gratitude and humility. Which is smiling, giving thanks to anything. Point number 9 is the power of now, which is Eckhart Tolle, which is living in the present moment. So each of these are quite powerful. If you look at it, it has a lot of people have put the same words using a lot of acronyms and have become very famous. Okay. So, if you look at, point number 9, it's actually power of now. And the person has become, quite famous just with that one statement. So it's possible that we may not be able to, follow each of them, but I normally, coach people to at least start somewhere and see if we can. Each of them are independent. It's not linked. So even if you do one or two or 3 or 4, as you mentioned, you can reach somewhere. So that's where it is.
That's awesome. Does anybody else have any questions? I mean, please feel free to take yourself off mute and ask.
I just want to say that I just love what you shared, because I really feel like this is what my life's been about. It's kind of confirmed a lot of where things are at, because I've been realizing more and more like what my mission was, like in probably 1986, was to empower people. I didn't really know how. And I started with psychology. Then I got into my own journey because I was not in touch with my body at all. So I learned a body work called orthobionomy, which is all about helping people connect. But it's always been how to empower people, and on this grand scale. And so each thing has come to me has kind of done that. So I feel like I'm never going to retire. I already feel like I've already been doing what I've been loving. I haven't necessarily been great at follow through, because I've had health issues and stuff, but it's just really awesome. So anyway, I just, I know the more I really fine tune it, but it's just beautiful. So that's.
Oh, thank you, Lucy. Thank you. It's very deep. The philosophy is very deep. Thank you, Lucy. What about Lisa? You have any thoughts around it? Sugam, any thoughts?
Yeah. So actually, I wanted to ask a question.
Sure.
The question is like, so something like where we are good at and something what really need. So actually, this two thing is very hard to like connect, because when I'm I'm training to some, like in my classes as well, or even to the trainer. So really, some people, some stiff body people like they join my class. So there to motivate them, to encourage them for doing whatever the asanas I'm telling. Like they are just expecting within a month they just want to do the hard asanas and the advanced asanas, or like they want to feel that experience the power of yoga. The thing is, like, they are not good at the practicing yoga, but that is really need what they want to do it. So how to connecting these two things there, and how to encouraging them by going through this model, because I really found like the model is very good. Even it's not only helping a person, like even my clients as well, they can be no, get the value out of it.
Certainly. Actually, this answer can be best answered by yourself, to be frank. That's what I normally tell everybody who comes, because you understand your business better than Lucy or me or Lisa or Louis, etc. So I understood what you're trying to say. People who are a little stiff, and since you're doing yoga and I know what you do, how do you really you need to kind of see how you can tell them the reasons for doing it and what they can gain, and see if the passion comes into them. So it's really your experience. I suggest you kind of sleep over this for a couple of days. It's very deep. It will take a few months to understand this, and see if you can come up.
First I should start doing it, then
Yeah.
then only I'll be understanding.
Correct.
Thank you.
Good. Louis, you want to add something? Yeah.
Well, I was just going to say, next week I'm going to be focusing on, how do you pick two things, one personal, one professional, that obviously supports this, what Deepak talked about today. What is your Ikigai? Is that how you say it? Ikigai?
Yeah, Ikigai, yes.
I love that. I mean, to me, it just stands out to, why are you here? What is your purpose on this planet? And
right.
That's a pretty deep topic. However, you don't have to be great to start. You just have to start somewhere to be great in figuring that out and taking one bite out of the apple or the elephant we'll do that next week. We'll set 2 goals, so you can start thinking about that. Whether it's it's not too late to set something for November if you haven't already, because not everyone's into goal setting. And 1 personal, 1 professional, but definitely make it surrounding this topic. And what's your why? What gets you out of bed in the morning? What's going to get you excited about life? And then we'll break it down into how to, we'll do kind of like a mind mapping exercise of how to pick the actions that are going to help create those outcomes for you. And you could pick it for 2020 if you want to look ahead to the future. A lot of people in America, they wait until January 1st, and then they quit on their goals because it's not really truly their focus every day, every week, every month. It's about those daily, weekly, monthly activities that are critical. And so, sorry, I didn't start my video. So that's what we're going to be talking about next week. So I hope that keeps what we've talked about today and last week going for you guys. And I think ultimately this is an ongoing journey, like you said, Deepak. So we'll probably always come back to this and remind you. So this is the foundation for what we're doing daily, weekly, and monthly. So thank you so much again.
So what about, I just thought I'll hand over the mic to Vincent. Vincent, are you here?
Hi, good morning, good evening. This is Vincent. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you. We can hear you.
I was trying to connect in between. I lost the contact. Now I just re-enter.
Oh, no problem. So you're seeing the right slide in front of you, if you can see it. So
Yes. I can see.
That's called as Ikigai, what you love, what you're good at, what you can be paid for, what the world needs. So
Yeah.
that's where it is, So Vincent also is a hospitality trainer, and somewhere you need to find your Ikigai.
Yes. I'll go through it.
Yeah, good.
Thank you, Deepak, for inviting me to this platform.
Sure,
I'm very glad to see you. Yeah.
Well, I think it's important too for you guys, if there's ever anything you want to hear us talk about, because right now we're coming from our expertise and our places of passion. Our Ikigai is to really inspire and educate and empower you. If there's anything that comes up for you in the next week, if you know Deepak, send him an email. If you know me, send me a message, and we can always, we want this to be valuable for you, and we want you to bring friends. Right now, we're keeping this free. So we really want you to be bringing friends so that we can, make that impact at a deeper level.
I have one question, and it just has to do with what I see a lot, like in the body work I've been doing for years and years, and a lot of givers, a lot of people who want to help people, they have a really hard time feeling like they deserve to be paid for it. So that's something that, having that piece where they can price themselves accordingly and they can, believe they deserve it. So that's something that I think it gets in the way for people, or how to address that.
So what I heard is, can you repeat that? What I heard is you have a lot of people who can be paid for.
Well, a lot of people don't feel like they're worth it. Like I get a lot of people who feel like in the helping profession, I've been doing this work, orthomyotomy, for a very long time. And one of the patterns I saw in a lot of people who are very good at it, they just didn't feel like they could charge for it, or they didn't want to charge for it. So you get that piece where it's what they love to do, they're good at it, but they don't believe that they should be paid for it. And I think that comes in a lot of areas of life. So I'm wondering how you work with that.
So yeah, in fact, I come across a lot of people who don't know their worth, and they charge, quite low, or for whatever reason. That's because they're not very clear on what the world needs. They're not clear on the value of the work. They're not clear on the returns that people are getting, on the value that people are getting with their work. And if they can put this particular value of, they understand the returns, or they understand the value of the work, then automatically, they will feel not guilty of, or they'll feel more happy in charging, whatever they feel they can charge. So I come this in my profession, in training as well as in healing. I see people charging from very low to very, very high. And the people who charge high are the people who tell me, I feel I make a big impact in people's life. They're very confident about it. And the people who charge low are the ones who say that I need to be engaged every day. I can't sit at home, I need to go every day. So uh, it's two different dimensions of thinking. And the people who charge, high are very focused. They believe in what they do. And I think this is the quadrant. They very clearly know what their niche market is looking for, and what value they can change, they can bring in.
Awesome. Thank you so much. That's awesome.
Yeah, that's a topic that's near and dear to my heart. That's one of the reasons for me in health and fitness, and I got burned out, is a lot of people don't charge what they're worth. And it's rare, actually, for example, to find a yoga instructor who would charge what they're worth, right? A lot of times they just want to help people. Like you said, what the world needs, they focus on that as opposed to their Ikigai. And that's, that's where, a lot of healers actually have health issues. And it's because they're not being true to themselves. They're not asking for what they want. They're giving. Oh, wait, what about me? And that's where I have an autoimmune disease, because I was that person. And so it's pretty fascinating. That could be a topic all in of its own.
So any other passing thoughts from Vincent, Sugam, or Lisa? Lisa was here. I don't know if she's still there.
She's in a waiting room, so she couldn't verbalize or vocalize, and she just said she really appreciated the 10 actions connecting to soul purpose. So again, a great, powerful follow-up to last week. So yeah, if you missed last week, or if you miss a week, you are going to miss an ongoing continuity component. So I know we have a couple of people that aren't on this week that were on last week. So please make sure, to lock this in. We're not going to change the time again. We promise.
That is good.
So
we are not changing time. Yeah, it will work for us.
Yes.
Yeah, and feel free to invite people from Europe, invite people from US, invite people from Africa. We really want to grow this month and have a global community that, ultimately will grow it. I do have a private Facebook group. I don't put anyone in unless they're truly committed. And in December, we will start charging for this coaching and training and support. And there's ongoing support and tools inside of the Facebook group. So that's where there will be potential networking possibilities as we build this global community through Facebook too. So just some other hidden elements and benefits of being a part of this.
True.
I want to say it's awesome seeing you all over in the other part of the world and seeing your smiling faces and just your passion and what you're about. So it was really awesome.
Thanks, Lucy. Thanks, Lucy.
Thank you so much, everyone. It was really awesome talking to all of you.
Have a great day, guys. We'll see you next week. Go ahead, Deepak.
Thanks, Louise. And I think it was great. Thank you so much for all of you to join in. And we hope that over the course of the week, we will kind of define our Ikigai. And we meet next Thursday at 8 a.m. Pacific and 9:30 p.m. India. So that's true. That's how it's running.
So actually, our timing is the same.
Yeah. So that's where it is. So with that, I think thank you one and all for joining in, and we'll see you next week. Sounds good, Louis?
Thank you.
Winner chicken dinner sounds awesome. Have a great night, guys.
Thanks, everybody.
Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Thank you.
Bye. Thank you.
Bye.